71. Wandering Man.
He was from Tennessee, but he did not want to stay there. He traveled all around. He left at the age of 18. He had no money. He had no car. He hitchhiked to California. His family could not stop him because he was an adult. It was his dream to wander. He was a good-looking man. He did many odd jobs. He met many people. California is a big state. There are a lot of people in California. He lived in different places. He never stayed in one place. He kept traveling. He did not think about the future. He lived his life one day at a time. He did not have many belongings. He had a small backpack. It held his clothes. He had a guitar and a picture of his parents. This was all he carried. One day, he would go back home.
72. Flight to Boston.
He drove to the airport. He waited for his flight. He waited for an hour. His flight was ready. He boarded the airplane. The airplane was huge. It was going to Boston. He had family in Boston. He lived in Los Angeles. He was a teacher. He taught at a community college. He loved his job. His family was proud of him. He was going to see them. It was a family reunion. He looked forward to seeing everybody. 5 years had passed since he was in Boston. He brought sweaters and jackets because Boston was cold at this time of year. The airplane took off. His ears popped. He put on his headphones. The flight lasted 6 hours. He arrived safely in Boston.
73. Family Reunion.
He got off the airplane. He stepped on the ground. It was a long flight. There was a baby crying on the flight. He could not sleep. He exited the airport. He called a taxi. It drove him home. He paid the taxi driver and thanked him. He looked at his house. He was glad to be home. The lights were on inside. He saw shadows through the window. His family reunion had started. He knocked on the door. His father opened the door. "Welcome back home, Greg," he said, smiling. He went inside. He greeted everybody. He said hello to cousin Alex. He hugged and kissed his grandmother. He shook the hand of his brother-in-law. He hugged his sisters and brothers. He was overjoyed to see his mother. His mom gave him a big kiss. It was a good family reunion. He did not want to go back to California.
74. The Interview.
She put on her best shoes. She put on her nicest shirt. She got into her dress pants. She brushed and straightened her hair. She applied her makeup. She sprayed perfume on herself. She was ready for her job interview. She looked in the mirror one more time. She looked professional. She grabbed her purse and walked out the door. She entered her car and drove away. The interview was on the 6th floor of a building. She took the elevator. She entered the interview room. She was greeted by 4 people. They were all dressed in suits. The interview began. They asked her hard questions. She answered the best she could. She was confident and friendly. They liked her. She got the job. She was overjoyed.
75. Package in the mail.
The mailman knocked on the door. No one answered the door. He had a package to deliver. He needed the person's signature. It was a heavy package. He rang the doorbell. Still, no one answered. He looked through the window. There was someone inside. A girl was napping on the couch. He knocked on the window. The girl was sound asleep. He used his voice. He called her name. She woke up. She saw the man through the window. She opened the door. She asked who he was and what he wanted. "I'm the mailman, can't you tell?" he said and pointed to his uniform. She was half asleep. "I have a package for you," the mailman said. She asked how he knew her name. He said her name was on the package. She signed for it. She took the package inside. It was heavy.